Hey, how's it going? Lockie Dolly here. Welcome to my Secret World, episode 7. It's been an epic couple of weeks. I'm sorry I didn't tune in last week because I was on the cruise. I was on the Keeping the Blues Alive cruise, the cruise that Joe Bonamassa puts on. And that goes from Miami to Jamaica. So, last week I was just too busy having an incredible time and playing music and meeting incredible musos. Yeah, so, we've got people tuning in already. G'day, Peter, how are you? Good to see you on here. Harry, rather, haven't seen you in ages, man. So we had an amazing time. Basically, a couple of weeks ago, we caught the flight to Miami, spent a night in Miami, which was really cool. I'd never been there. I managed to catch up with two of my favourite guitar players, Kirk Fletcher, who was going on the cruise as well, and also Matt Schofield, who played after us at the Donnacona Blues Festival in Quebec last year. So it was great to catch up with those guys at a really trendy, cool little bar in Miami. It was one of those sort of unassuming places where the front of it looks very small and pokey, but once you go inside, it opens up to an incredible beer garden, and there was a great jazz band playing, and so that was pretty fun. Hey, Pontus, how are you, man? Dean. And so that was my one night in Miami, and then the next day we got our stuff together and hopped on the cruise ship, which was the Norwegian Jade. And so this is only the second cruise ship I've been on. The other one was the one that we played in Australia. Oh, I can't even remember what it was called. It was the Royal Caribbean. I can't remember the name of the ship, but that's quite an old ship where the Norwegian Jade was this beautiful, like luxurious. The rooms were fantastic. The only problem is I didn't have a window. So the rooms were nice, but I didn't have a balcony or a window, so it was pretty weird. It was like, with the jet lag and everything, I woke up the next day at 1 p.m, which is nuts. It felt like it was like 6 a.m. in the morning, and it was 1 p.m, and I'd missed breakfast. I'd almost missed lunch. Hey, Danny. Got my C3 with me, not in the park, I'm afraid. I'd like to have it here. This would be a good place to do some practice. So that was kind of the start of the cruise. We all got on, and we had to play that afternoon. So I was on the cruise with Mahalia Barnes. So, Jackie, who plays drums with me, his big sister, Mahalia. So we did a record with her and Kirk Fletcher, who I was talking about before. And Mahalia also sings in Joe Bonamassa's band. So that's kind of the connection there. So we were really lucky to be asked to play on the cruise. And so our first show was that evening in a little bar on the boat, and it was great fun. Joe came down, and all of Joe's band came down. We had such a great time, and it was great to basically meet all those legends. Reese Wyman, man, what an absolute champion, incredible keyboard player too. Yeah, and we did another show. I did have the whammy clav with me, which was as always, it's a bit of an ordeal. Carrying it around, but it's always worth it. I mean, even in Hayes' band, I'm not using the whammy bar, I suppose, too much, but just to have that freedom when I can do a solo, and I can do some nice ballads, and I can do some sort of almost like slide stuff with the whammy, which is really cool. Just to have that option, because the clav itself it's a very static instrument. Yeah, that was basically night one, and then from then on it was like 5 days of just watching awesome music and hanging out and meeting all these incredible musicians, incredible organ players. Jimmy Henderson, who was playing with Kirk, Luca, Italian organ player, lives in Chicago, Michele, who was playing with Anna Popovic's band, and and I met a stack more as well as just other great musos, and it was really fun. One of the best times was actually the jam night. So I think it was on the third night or something. They have they get as many musos as they can together, and they try and organise a bit of a jam in the main theatre. And so Kirk Fletcher and Josh Smith were organising it, and Kirk was basically so Jimmy Henderson was playing organ, and he plays the bass with his left hand, and then the organ just died like after the second song, and it was quite amazing to see just the organisation of the cruise and the people running around trying to fix the organ. They didn't let up. They did not give in until they fixed that organ. I've never seen anything like it. Normally it's like, nah, organ's gone, get ignored, let's go, don't worry about it. But they spent about 20 or 25 minutes getting the organ fixed, and they got it fixed. It was amazing. I was really, really impressed with that, I got to say. It's that care factor, people who actually care about Hammond organs. I like these people. They're my friends. What? I look like the sketchy dude hiding in the bushes in the park. Oh, thanks, Scott. That probably is what I look like, actually. Talking to myself as well, which is even sketchier. Lost my train of thought now. So that was the jam, but the organ got fixed just in time for us to sort of go out and do a version of Proud Mary, where I finally got to play the organ because I was stuck behind the clav for all the other gigs. And that was great fun. I just got to, bring out the Lockie madness for a little while. And that kind of finished off the night, so that was really cool. And then, it was another few nights of just having a great time. Then we went to Jamaica, and we got off there and went to a place called the Pork Pit for some pork barbecue, which was so good. It's some of the best barbecue pork I've ever had. If you ever get to Jamaica, to Montego Bay, then suss out that place, the Pork Pit, because it was unreal, really cool. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a cold at the moment. My ear is still blocked from the plane trip back, but I'll get to that later. So where was I? So that was basically the cruise. 5 days of that. Then we got off, and everyone kind of went their separate ways. Some went back to Australia. Franco, the guitar player, he went to Nashville, and I decided to go to LA. So I booked myself 4 nights in LA at a really cool apartment in downtown, and I'd never been there before, so I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really know where I should stay. I thought downtown might be a good place because it's pretty big, and I know I wanted to go to the beach and other places all spread around. So I thought, at least it's in the centre and can't be too far away from anywhere, even though everywhere is away from everywhere in LA. So that was great. One of the keyboard players I met, he was playing with Paulie. Oh, damn it, I can't remember his last name. Awesome keyboard player, sax player in Joe Bonamassa's band. Billy Steinway was playing second keyboards, I suppose you'd say, in Paulie's band. I ended up hanging out with him in LA that night, and we went to the Baked Potato. And that was really cool because I'd never, obviously I'd heard a lot about that venue over the years, but had never been there. So it was great to finally go there and have someone cool to hang out with, a local who knew what was going on. And then the next day I caught up with Carrie Frank, who is an awesome Hammond player who, like myself, has been posting lots of videos and stuff on Facebook and YouTube over the last couple of years, and has really made quite a name for himself. He's got a regular gig down at Highlands Park Bowl, which is just this incredible old bowling alley in Highlands Park. And he was saying that only got bought out or taken over a couple of years ago, and before that it was like a really ugly, horrible kind of bowling alley. But when they knocked down all the walls, they found all this beautiful Art Deco stuff, all this original stuff, these original paintings, banners. Excuse me, sorry. And it really is the most beautiful bowling alley. It's so classic, and it's great that they put music on there, and good music too. Excuse Excuse me. So, yeah, I sat in with Carrie on a couple of things. There was one clip going around where we're both playing the organ at the same time. So I don't know if you saw that, but check that out. You find it on my timeline if you want to check that out. And then I also got up and did a version of Use Me where I'm playing left hand, which is pretty funny. It's not very often that I play left hand bass. I can bluff my way through it, but I like to say it kind of means you don't get the best of anything when I'm playing left hand. I can't do the best of my soloing, and I can't do the best of bass playing either. But I might post that up a bit later. We'll see how we go. But it was a lot of fun, I'll tell you. It's great to see. It's great to see other players lugging around the real deal as well. I think he's got an early '60s B3 that he lugs around in his van, much the same as I do. Yeah, so that was really cool, and I got to meet all the guys in his band too. So I could really see myself, slotting into LA really easily if for some reason the family decided we wanted to move there. I'm sure that would be pretty cool. Mind you, it would probably be pretty impossible with all the visas and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, it's a nice thought. So what else did I do? I went around and so the guys that made my whammy clav were it was Ken Rich Sounds in California, and he also had a guy working for him called Luke, and sadly I think they've had some sort of falling out or something. But I ended up going and seeing both of them because they both had something to do with the clav, and that's a massive part of what I do, and what's helped me with my career so much was that turning point of buying that clav. And it was really cool to see both of them and see what they're both up to. They're both making whammy clavs and all sorts of like custom ones with beautiful wood and stuff like that. And I do have a big announcement as far as whammy clavs go, but I think I'm going to save that till next week. Something I just cannot believe I'm going to be doing. But anyway, we'll talk about that next week. So I got to see both of those guys, and that was really cool to hang out and see all the work they're doing. It's not just clavs, obviously, it's organs and Rhodes and whirlies and anything basically electromechanical. They're doing some great work, and really cool guys. So I spent a couple of days going around seeing them, and and also hanging out with another supporter of mine called Michael Keeney, who he's actually the ghost keyboard player in Iron Maiden. So it's really interesting talking to him about it, actually, because apparently they said, do you want to be on stage? Because I think he only plays maybe half of the set or something like that. And he's like, no, I'm happy just being off stage playing the keyboard. And because he also he's the bass tech as well, so he's kind of got multiple roles. But it's just funny that it's just so strange, the idea of playing but not being on stage, just being, I suppose it's like theatre in a way, but being in the pit, it's crazy. But he's more than that. That's the way he loves it, and he's been doing that. I'm not sure how long he's been on the keyboard for with them, but he's been working for them for like about 30 years, he was saying. It was great hanging out with him because he took me to his storage and his studio, and he's got like a 1939 Hammond A, and it's in beautiful condition, and he's got it hooked up to a 145, and I was really surprised. I thought, it's going to be a scratchy, dodgy sounding organ, a Model A, they were just getting their shit together. But I was amazed, actually. He's got the drawbars changed, so they're nice and smooth, and it actually sounded huge. It sounded really massive. Like, I think I could quite easily do a gig on one of them. So that kind of blew my mind. 1939. So what's that? 80 years old, that organ, and sounds great. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of research into those A's and see how common they are. They might be extremely rare, especially one that works and sounds as good as his. Anyway, so that's my trip to LA. The only other thing I was doing was running around like an idiot from that brand Nordstrom. We don't have it in Australia, but so obviously it's in America. It's huge, and I'm not sure if it's around the rest of the world. But I had a list from Gemma. I had all this makeup and these jeans. And I went to Nordstrom Rack. They had nothing there. Then they told me to go to another Nordstrom in Santa Monica. I tried there. I tried another Nordstrom in downtown. They didn't have it there. And eventually, on the last day, I went to Nordstrom Century, I think it is, and finally got the this makeup, this Charlotte Tilbury makeup that Gemma wanted. Anyway, you're probably not very interested in that at all, but this shade Pillow Talk, which is, I think it must be the most popular lipstick in the world, because seriously, it's sold out everywhere. So I bought a bunch of them there, and they said, yeah, we got them in like last week, and we're almost sold out. So anyway, that's my LA trip, which was bloody unreal. I can't wait to get back there actually and see all the people that I met again and all the new friends, and yeah, it was really quite something. So I've been on this rave for far too long now, but I'm quickly just going to tell you, yeah, on the way back, my ear is still blocked. Descending down, it blocked up, and what's it been, like 5 or 6 days now? This ear here, it's just driving me nuts. I just sound like I'm underwater, and it was the weirdest thing doing a gig the other night, especially when I had to sing. It was just so weird. Like you just have no idea how loud you're singing. You don't really have much idea how loud the organ is either, and then you can't hear the top drawbars when you pull them out. So much of it was by memory, but I mean, it was still a really good show. Like the response was amazing, but I'm slowly going mad here. But I'm sure it'll clear soon. I have had this before, so yeah, I'm sure it'll clear. How do I pronounce my name? Oh, that's a good question. Well, I've heard everything, but basically it's Lockie, like as if you're locking a door. So Lockie, not Lucky. Every time I introduce myself to anyone in the USA, they just call me Lucky, which is fine because it's closer than Latchy or and all the other ones I get. Yeah, so Lockie, short for Lachlan. It's a Scottish name. The ear popper. I haven't got it yet. I'm still waiting for the ear popper, so I'm really hoping that is going to... Paulie Sierra. Oh, thanks, Pontus. Yeah, I'm really hoping that ear popper is going to clear my ear. Yeah, I missed you too, man. Just checking out all these comments. Hey, John. Oh, my European agent wants me to mention Europe. Yes, we're going to be in Europe in May, and in July, and in September. It's not to mention Canada as well. It's a big year, but I'll talk about that more later. I'll mention, we're doing like Ribson Blues, we're doing Pier Blues, we're going back to the Bosshow and the Boerdery. They're mainly Holland ones. I can't think of all. We're going to Poland, we're going to Switzerland, we're going to Belgium. Man, just, lockiedolly.com/shows. That's the best place you're going to see all the places I'm playing, and believe me, there is a lot more coming. So if I'm not near you at present, if I'm not coming to play near you at present, keep an eye on it, because there's more shows being added all the time. I think it's going to be a really, really massive year, as well as Canada. I think Canada is shaping up pretty awesome as well. So what cities in Canada? Hey, Stephen. So mainly in French Canada. We haven't really had any luck on the on the west side of Canada yet. So if anyone's got any ideas or can help me with that, that would be great. I can then put you in contact with my Canadian agent. Yeah, awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off now and head back home and try and get some work done. But it's pretty tempting just to hang out here. It's pretty nice. This is my local little park. I'm actually in the middle of my walk that I do every morning, or try to do every morning. It's just I don't know, it's about a 2-hour walk, and it just kind of clears my head and gets me in the zone for the day and gets me a bit focused, because it's pretty easy to just wake up and check emails and get straight into it. But hey. Sorry, I'm just looking at all the comments. Yeah. So I am going to say goodbye, and it was great chatting to you. I'm going to get home and comment on all these comments. You guys are legends. I think I've had about 200 people tune in this morning. Wow. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Seriously, I really appreciate everything that you guys do for me and all the support. And remember, if you want me to play anywhere, make sure you suggest the Lockie Dolly group to your local festival or venue or whatever. Just keep sharing the stuff, because every little bit helps, and just really trying to make this year a big one. I did a big push for YouTube on the email list, which you might have noticed if you're on my mailing list. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, but that's just totally unrealistic, I think. But we'll see how we go. We're up to I think we're just clicking over about 4,000 subscribers now. But once I get to 10,000, there's a whole bunch of features that will help me get my music out there, basically, a bit further and a bit broader. And the other thing is Spotify. Follow me on Spotify if you use Spotify and you don't hate it. If you aren't mortally against it, follow me on Spotify, because I think of Spotify as just radio, and I've seen it do really well for a lot of people, and because the way it works is, if it's a good song, it'll get through the clutter and people will find it, and that's what I'm hoping for anyway. So I'm going to go back home and work on a couple of new songs, which I'm finishing off, which I might post up. We'll see how we go. All right. Bye.